Hello, Admiral Thrawn here, doing a commentary video for Season 2 of the Third Age Total War Tournament. Season 1 ended a little while back. You can see the videos for that on my channel and also on JMonster's channel. There'll be a link in the description for that. I won the first season. This season, I will probably be sitting out. I'm acting as a backup player, so if anybody drops out, I'll take over for them. So this here is the first round. And this here is a battle between, 1 second. Oh, sorry, so, never mind. He's using the same name as on the site. So, joerock22, who is a new player to the tournament, and he's playing against, I believe, themzr, who is an old player from the tournament. I actually forget who wins this battle. They sent it to me a little while ago, so I will be commentating from your position. This appears to be Gondor versus the High Elves, or versus the Sylvan Elves. Gondor is going with lots of cavalry here. They've got Swan Knights, lots of Swan Knights, I believe 2 Swan Knights, 2 Gondor cavalry, 3 Gondor cavalry. So it's looking like they've, 5 cavalry, 2 Swan Knights, 3 Gondor cavalry. Very good loadout for them, very good cavalry, should be fun. Also, a lot of 3 units of Losan Arch Axemen, 2 dismounted Swan Knights, 2 Gondor infantry, and then looks like 3 Gondor spearmen. So yeah, it's a very good loadout. Very rush. It's clearly meant to be a rush army. They're going to basically just try and charge the Sylvan Elves, take some archer fire, and then hopefully be able to run over them. It looks like it could work out pretty darn well. Sylvan Elves, they're very vulnerable to rush armies, but we've seen this sort of thing before. They can hold their own against them. It really depends on the micro. So I'm gonna fast forward. It looks like Gondor set up in their rush stance and all. They're all up in the front lines. Gonna fast forward while the Sylvan Elves set up. So yeah, basically it's all going to depend on can Gondor rush in and get the heavy infantry engaged properly, and can they break through the Sylvan lines. Sylvans look like they're setting up farther back based on the placement of these stakes. Also, the stakes are facing backwards, which is smart and all. It prevents the cavalry. Okay, so the match has started. They're setting up in sort of a defensive position and all. They've got plenty of archers, some spearmen, woodland warriors, who are actually pretty decent but bad against cavalry. They've got Sylvan heavy swordsmen, heavy spearmen, plenty of archers. Yeah, they've got their full loadout of archers, heavy archers, Sindar archers, they're smaller than the normal archer bodyguards, but they're pretty darn good. Then forest wardens, more heavy spearmen, swordsmen, woodland warriors, light spearmen. Basically, yeah, and Gondor is just doing exactly, they're just trying to rush it, get it under the archers' range of fire. And the archers are not actually doing that much damage, seeing as the Gondor units are so heavily armored. Yeah, they've so far only lost 0% of their army right now, so it's looking very good for Gondor. Their cavalry is going in here for the attack. The Sylvan Elves brought no cavalry at all. They are getting stuck on the spears, which is not a great idea. And they're trying to run through them, which is a very bad idea. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, they did some damage to the spears, but they're also taking a lot of casualties here on this unit of cavalry. Yeah, they lost like 20 horsemen there, but we'll see how things turn out. Their Swan Knights, it looks like they may have micro-mistaked here. The Swan Knights are getting shot at now, and they're about to get attacked by the Woodland Warriors. They are engaging though, and they're getting their troops engaged here with these Forest Wardens. The Sylvan Elves have a pretty thick front line here, so it should take them a while to break through. And it looks like they're having some trouble micromanaging their cavalry. But I mean, they're pulling them back a little bit, but they're still getting shot at by the archers. So basically, if they can, also it's raining, so that might, I'm not sure, but I think rain damages, not damages, but slows down cavalry. So we'll see how that turns out. They're still bringing in their heavy infantry, and they're sending these guys here on the flanks. Yeah, Gondor is having some trouble micromanaging their cavalry. I mean, they're doing okay, but they are losing a lot of horsemen, especially to the archers. Archers can really kill lots of horsemen. That being said, they've still done a lot of damage to the enemies, and they're doing a better job now. Though these guys are stopping some. Oh yeah, this is going to be good here. Rear charge on these swordsmen. That should just evaporate the unit. I mean, yeah, they're down to like they're down to like 20 guys. Then looks like they're not. It's weird. It looks kind of like they're routing, but they aren't. But still though, yeah. So this should break them. They're down to 12 guys. And the Swan Knights are taking a lot of casualties here, but it looks like it's going to be worth it, because it should allow them to roll up the flank now. Yeah, there's 5 of these guys left now. That being said, these guys are really hard to break. So they've got all these guys stuck on them. So they're sending in their cavalry to engage the archers, which is smart. That being said, the archers are still doing tons of damage to them. But we'll see how this turns out. The Sylvan Spearmen, I think the Sylvan Elves made a little bit of a micro mistake as well here. They're leaving their Spearmen out. But yeah, look at this. The Gondor cavalry took a whole bunch of casualties over here. Mostly, I think, from the archers. And here as well, like, yeah, just... They got wrecked. But it looks like they're still going to be decisive in this battle. And now that this flank here has been broken, they're just sending their guys around here. So it looks like right now this is Gondor's game to lose. Yeah, the Sylvan forces are taking incredibly high casualties. Their flanks are sort of collapsing in. Their heavy archers are doing pretty darn good. But also it looks like, yeah, their center has collapsed as well here. Like those forced wardens, they didn't stand a chance against the Gondor infantry. And their general's dead now. So yeah, I mean, and their forces are just basically just on the collapse here. And so this here, yeah, this is definitely joerock22's game to lose. Yeah, I gotta say the Sylvan Elves, they're really good when fighting a balanced force. But the thing is, whenever you see them, you always know to rush them. And if you rush them, you always win. Like, I mean, I think I've seen only one time when a rush against the Sylvan Elves failed. Otherwise, the rushes will always succeed. So, I mean, yeah, I would say, yeah, they're a very good faction, but they're so easy to counter that it basically makes them almost useless. I mean, yeah. And the worst part is that pretty much any faction can counter them. I mean, you just basically go all infantry, ignore your archers, and just all infantry and cavalry. So they're so easy to counter that as soon as they're picked, they lose. So I mean, yeah, I think they're still good, and I think they're still going to get picked and all, but I think they'll be picked less this tournament. Because another thing that we're doing this tournament as well. Oh no, look at this here. He's engaging. He's given up on fighting the cavalry. He's engaging his spearmen here on this flank, which I would say is not a great idea, because it means that the cavalry is free to run around the archers and do whatever they want. And this should be interesting. He's running. Yeah, this guy here died. Oh well. Yeah, I think stakes are kind of overpowered when killing cavalry, but I mean, who knows? Like, because it seems like the cavalry should at least try and avoid them, but who knows? So, anyways, medieval mechanics. It's an old game. What can you do? But yeah, this is definitely Gondor's game right now. They've just crushed through the resistance here. This flank is broken. The archers are on the run. These guys are routing. These guys are still holding out okay on this flank, but I mean, even over here, these guys are basically almost dead. But yeah, another thing that we're doing this tournament is that we're doing faction weightings, and what those are is basically based on the amount of faction was picked last tournament, they may get more or less gold. So basically it means that factions that we never saw last tournament, like the Harad or Rune or the Orcs of the Misty Mountains in Gundabad, those guys are going to get plus 400 gold because they were never picked, and other factions that were picked a lot are going to get minus a lot. Yeah, so yeah, Gondor wins. So basically, Gondor and the Sylvan Elves both took a pretty significant hit in terms of money. I think Gondor lost slightly less money. The Sylvan Elves were picked a lot. But yeah, so great game to them both. It looked, it was basically, it was a great game. Just the Sylvan Elves are easy to counter. So yeah, but still, that was awesome. I'll see you in game 2. Signing off.